Hey, it's Nate Carver, your favorite mortgage guy on Between Two Doors, and we are meeting again with Propy.com with Ilko and Shannon, and we are going to talk about buying homes with crypto at the title company for homeowners and home sellers. How about that? Hey, I'm Nate Carver, and welcome to Between Two Doors. Hey Shannon, hey Ilka, how are y'all?
Great, we're doing awesome. We're excited to be on this podcast again.
Awesome, I'm glad to have y'all. Hey, real quick, so 30,000 foot view of Propy for people that haven't listened to our previous recording, which I will have a link for down below. Tell everybody what Propy does, and then I got a bunch of questions to ask y'all.
Okay. So Propy Title has been in business for 8 years. We're licensed to close in Arizona, Colorado, and Florida, and we're getting California in 2 weeks. And by the end of the year, probably Texas, which is exciting. We are able to close with cryptocurrency in-house, but we are also able to do traditional escrow as well. So if a realtor just wants to send it through email, we can do that as well. We also have a database that uses AI technology. So we extract information from AI and then it goes to our real life escrow officers. And Ilko, you want to add anything else?
Yeah, we are the your next gen title and escrow agent.
It's awesome.
We're
Okay, so
the
let's
future now.
There you go. So let's bring it into, so we did a podcast with realtors and what Propy means to them. So let's guide this conversation for homeowners that need to sell their home and for home buyers they're cash buyers and they've got crypto and leveraging that to acquire property. So let's see, big picture and trust for someone that's brand new. What does it really mean to buy or sell a home with cryptocurrency?
Shall I start with that?
Absolutely,
Yes.
Ilko.
All right. Well, first, I don't think there's anybody who's brand new into crypto and using that to purchase a home. So usually what we see are very experienced crypto holders that feel that the time is right to diversify their portfolio with real estate investment. And regardless, those people have been in dealing with crypto for quite some time. They see a really hard time like finding the right real estate professional to actually help them and guide them through a transaction like this. And as far as sellers, hey, we see this pretty much every day. Like we have a crypto buyer that wants to place an offer on a very, traditional listing. The seller, as far as they're concerned, we make it so they just have another cash buyer. So there's nothing different that the sellers will need to do or prepare for.
So how does Propy ensure security and prevent fraud when transactions happen on the blockchain?
Yeah. So typically a deed is done in the courthouse, but sometimes fires can happen. So then everything is gone. So we also have sometimes people do online hack, and sometimes that can attack and cause issues. So what we do is we still record the deed with the county. We have secondary ledger on the blockchain, ownership recorded, data breached, prove ownership with blockchain, and it's admissible in court.
Yeah,
All
think
right.
of it as a extra insurance policy for the buyers. They can prove their ownership if they need to in court.
Should have, when a buyer or seller is using the blockchain over a traditional way of doing title, I guess.
No, actually, you don't have to choose, and buyers and sellers, they don't have to choose traditional over blockchain or the other way around. it's a complementary service that we provide. Like along with recording with the county, we will keep a secondary recording on blockchain ledger.
Understood. I got it. Okay, so let's focus on buyers for a second. And how does a crypto escrow process work to minimize volatility while a deal is closing?
Well, there are like a couple of ways. First, whenever there is a crypto transaction and the buyers choose to hold the escrow funds in crypto, which there are like a lot of benefits. These are earning yield. It helps mitigate early exposure to exchange fees and taxable events. Just so that imagine that you are a crypto buyer and you want to sign a contract. You need to liquidate, you need to place those funds in a traditional bank account,
Yeah.
let it season, and then sign the contract. And then if the deal falls through, you're stuck with fiat exposure that you don't really need, exchange fees, and you're liable for capital gains tax. So what we do is we allow buyers to hold crypto in escrow until the funding date. Now, of course, most of the times we suggest that they do this with stablecoin. So this eliminates volatility as stablecoins are pegged to the dollar. However, if there's Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, or any other cryptocurrency that is volatile, it goes with the market, and we have a lot of different ways to either like add a buffer percentage, introduce margin calls that really protect sellers' interest and make sure that they have a minimum amount of value in our escrow account in US dollars.
Okay. Hey, so do you, like with Bitcoin, Ethereum, other stable coins, does Propy have a preference? Or do you, I mean, there's a lot of different coins out there and there's some that have disappeared.
True. So yes, like we can accept different coins,
Okay.
but that doesn't mean that we will accept all. So like it's a really good practice whenever a real estate agent receives a call from a potential buyer or during their conversation, a question is popped like, hey, can I use crypto for a deposit?
Mm-hmm.
First thing they need to ask is what kind of crypto they want to use. And of course, not everybody is familiar with all the coins, but Shannon, what do you say? Like, how would a realtor like have an idea of what kind of token the buyer is talking to?
They could always go to Coinbase Cap, and that's where the top 10 coins show up. So they can look on there to see kind of the coins that are out there.
Perfect. So this is
Okay.
coinmarketcap.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just get familiar with the top 10. But
Gotcha.
you don't really have to validate the buyer's response. You just need to ask them, hey, what kind of crypto do you accept? And then second thing is send them through Propy's identification check.
www.propy.com/KYC. Know your customer.
Know your customer.
Perfect. And now you know that you have a legit buyer on, that you're dealing with.
Absolutely.
Right. Awesome. So you touched a little bit tax considerations. So with a crypto buyer and they're preparing for to use their digital assets as payment, what are some considerations there? I see some huge benefit to doing it with Propy, and you touched on that. So I'd like a little bit more on that, please.
Well, Nate, ask your CPA. I'm just kidding. Crypto property, not currency, liable for capital gains tax. That's how I would answer that question.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
means every time a buyer uses crypto to buy, invest, exchange, they would be liable for
Sure.
capital gains. on that token. However, we introduced the option to use the crypto as collateral, and they use it to secure a crypto-backed loan. In that case, that's not a taxable event, and it, as you said, holds a lot of benefits. You still hold on to your crypto, let it appreciate, have an investment in real estate, and avoid a tax.
Right. Yeah, and I've seen as, in the traditional way, when people are liquidating crypto to purchase a home, that season time in their bank account and the time it takes to actually get to closing, and heaven forbid if a loan falls apart for whatever reason, they're out. That liquidation has cost them. So I like what you were saying when how you're able to streamline that at closing with their crypto. Tell me on how do y'all integrate with other lenders? So as a lender, if I brought you a client that was looking to buy a home, or someone that was selling a home and the crypto's on the table, but is there a hybrid so they could do mostly crypto or 50 crypto, 50 financing? Is that something that can be done?
So traditional lender buyer balances, crypto friendly lenders is something very important to us. Ilko?
Okay.
Well, of course, we will work with the lender and educate them on how to actually read through blockchain data and wallets and wallet balances. But
Mhm.
it doesn't work every time. We just closed a deal a couple of weeks ago that the buyers that did exactly that, and so they put stablecoin for deposit, and they wanted to close with a traditional loan.
Mhm.
Didn't work out with the first lender, although we put a lot of effort into educating them and showing them balances and providing all the statements verified. But hey, we've we managed to find a another lender that actually managed to almost managed to get things through, because this was a funny story, because it took us quite some effort going back and forth, and now we are at the closing table, so to speak, because we are remotely. Everything was ready, and we called the buyers, be like, hey, let's schedule the online notary. And you know what they told us? Oh, we're in the middle of the Atlantic on a yacht. And,
Hard,
and
hard life.
yeah,
That's it.
true,
Oh, pain.
for 5 weeks. So, needless to say, the sellers did not want to extend. The loan option was a no-go because we could still do a remote, online notary, but they needed to be in the US in order for
Mhm.
that to work. So we just scrapped that option, changed it to a cash offer, and they funded the whole deal in crypto.
Wow. In the middle of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Wow. What did you do? Oh, in the middle of the Atlantic, bought a house. Tell me, on the seller's side, what steps does a seller need to take if they want to accept crypto for their property?
That's a unusual scenario. Most of the
Okay.
times we would see a crypto buyer coming in with an offer, very traditional seller. They don't really want to talk about crypto at all. We facilitate the deal, we fund the deal in as a cash. However,
Mm-hmm.
whenever there is a seller willing to accept the crypto directly wallet to wallet, that can be even easier because funds flow directly from one wallet to another.
Oh, wow.
Of course, not all fees will be dispersed in crypto, so we would still need to liquidate certain amount to satisfy county tax, broker commission, or even the
Mm-hmm.
agent commission. Hey, but agent can choose to accept that in crypto as well. You never know, but we can do it all. I mean, just
Okay.
like a buyer can choose a hybrid, payment system, So does the seller. They can accept most of the proceeds in US dollars, but let's say keep half a Bitcoin, you know,
Right.
just for the fun of it, or only if they're interested.
So I get this question all the time in the traditional sense is when's that loan going to fund? So in the crypto world, how long does it take to convert for it to be converted from crypto to US dollars and ultimately fund a deal, getting buyer or getting the seller paid, and getting the realtors paid? What does that look like timeline wise?
Probably you're looking at from 1 hour to 3 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So same
Uh,
day. You, that's
Not only
awesome.
same day, it can be so much
That
quicker.
morning.
We had a French buyer. It
Yeah.
took 7 business days to get the funds over from their Paris bank over to our escrow account.
Yeah.
And it was like big. They had to sign an addendum because the deposit was late. The sellers were participating, of course. But for the final payment, they just decided
Mhm.
to, and they were not crypto people, but they decided they converted into stablecoin, sent us the funds, we converted, we had the funds received in escrow and funded within like a couple hours.
Wow. Wow. Just thinking
The
of other.
Instacart of title and escrow. We're the
Yeah,
Instacart and the Amazon Prime. We
it
want things
is.
fast and quick and easy.
Yeah. You've got, I was just thinking like, so someone comes to me and they've got money in a 401k that they want to use to buy a house. 7 to 10 business days from the moment you liquidate that account or anything out of that account. It's not to say anything about the fees that they got to pay or the penalties, but it's 7 to 10 business days before that money gets released. And then there's however long their financial institution takes to clear and deposit those funds. So you could add another week to that, and here you are, you can do it in a couple of hours. That's fantastic. That's
True, but
awesome.
there's also another application to it. Like you have like
Yeah.
international buyers coming in from Colombia or Ecuador. uh, what they shared is that just transferring through the traditional banking system, US dollar amounts is extremely expensive over to US.
Yeah.
Like converting this into stablecoin and converting back to US dollars here, it's so much not just quicker, but cheaper as well.
Wow. So last question for sellers, is there any kind of marketing advantage by listing their homes in that as crypto friendly?
About 50 million of them.
There
That's
you
pretty
go.
much how many US account holders are in Coinbase. We partner with Coinbase. This is the largest crypto exchange in the US.
Mhm.
So imagine being able to open up your listing to millions of potential buyers
Wider
that
buyers.
usually nobody markets to.
Right. And am I right in thinking y'all are doing some marketing there with the realtors, or there's some listing stuff that y'all do with realtors?
We
Is that right?
do. We
Okay.
do this. We do educational stuff. We have uh, crypto and blockchain continue with the courses with that are certified for CE credits. So there's like a lot that we are, doing just to show agents, educate them on how to leverage technology. It's not just about crypto.
Right.
It's just also about blockchain, about the technology, how to be more efficient and productive.
Right.
And the ambassador program as well, which is
There
huge.
you go. There you go. What for buyers and sellers using crypto, would you say has been maybe the biggest challenge that y'all?
Biggest challenge, Shannon, what do you think? Like, number one, I would say how to really know that that person on the other side of the line really has the money
Yeah.
and is ready to buy and not trying to get you in some kind of a, scheme.
Right.
Yeah. When people hear crypto, sometimes it's stigmatized to be fraud. And that's why we place ourselves to have the KYC system at
Right.
propy.com/KYC so that we can make sure that wallet identification number is who you say you are. So you don't have fraud on your end as well as our end. So we're protected. That's why we go through the KYC.
Nice. So look, this is innovative already. So trying to thinking forward, what do you in the future, crypto real estate transactions, where do you see it in the next 5 years?
Booming.
Mass adoption, like more and more general consumers are turning into, some form of crypto holdings. It's already like, I believe it was 41% of US adults aged 18 to 38, I believe was the statistics. They have a crypto wallet. Doesn't mean that they have enough funds to fund their home, but they can use this for a deposit or use it for collateral to secure a loan. And more people will be looking into it, especially with all the changes that are pushed with the new administration. It's designed to drive the general consumer's attention towards it.
Yeah.
So better be ready.
All right. So, okay, here's one. How might smart contracts change things like title, escrow, or even mortgage payments?
Wow. Shannon,
You want to save
what do
that
you
one?
think?
Guys, I think this might be our next podcast. I think we're on to something.
Okay. Let's
Definitely. I mean, and it's gonna be an interesting one because a lot.
I
Lot of
know. I
changes.
remember it was probably 5-6 years ago. I was in on a conversation and they were talking about blockchain for real estate. And so let's do a podcast. We'll come back and do another podcast on that one.
No,
Last
that definitely deserves like a dedicated podcast.
Absolutely.
Just so that you have an idea, is I was in a conversation last month with a realtor in Massachusetts, I believe, and he was tasked with the force to write an article on how the real estate has changed since COVID. And his main topics were transactions are going paperless and less use of fax communication.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you really ready to write this article? Like, there is so much more to it. Like, talking about all the technology that's AI, blockchain, tokenization of real estate. There's a lot that we can discuss on the future and how it implements into real estate.
We're gonna come back and do that podcast. That's gonna be the nerdy podcast for sure. So, all right,
Ilko,
last
that's when
question.
you wear your glasses again.
Yeah, go back. Let's do the glasses. So, last question: what advice would you give a buyer today who wants to use crypto for their first home purchase?
You only live once.
Well, just do it. Absolutely. And Shannon, I believe your favorite quote was,
Oh, yes. I do have a quote for us. Don't get sloppy. Utilize Propy.
There you go. All right, we're going to put links down below for everybody, and we're going to set up another podcast to talk about my awesome title and escrow and mortgage question and the changes that we perceive coming. Thanks, guys, and for meeting with me today to talk about crypto and what we can do or what y'all can do over at Propy. I really enjoy it, and look forward to seeing you.
Propy, goodbye.